All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into a hodgepodge of different items, different talking points, whatever you want to call them, from Christmas tree shopping with the family to Hallmark movies to Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants and football, maybe some Yankees talk. I don't know yet. Might be some good current events. Don't know yet. Have to find out. Keep watching to find out. We also got a very interesting Cage fact that you're going to want to listen to. So, all that's coming up right now. All right, jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti, the show about nothing that finds the lessons and everything, and we have a lot of fun and share a few laughs doing it all. Hope everybody had a good week. I had a pretty decent week. Trying to remember if anything super exciting happened. I can't off the top of my head, which once again means not a bad week for Libretti over here. So I hope you guys had a good week too. I finally found the gym that's close enough to the house here, to the Libretti compound in New Jersey, that is not going to take me 40 minutes to an hour to get to. So it's a lot easier logistically and mentally, emotionally to go to the gym on a regular basis now. So I don't know, maybe it's 4 miles down the road. It's a one-off. It's an athletic club, Sparta Athletic Club, the SAC. If I was in high school, I'd make a joke, but we're not in high school. We're adults here, so the SAC that's it. This place, it's got everything I need. It's also got tennis courts. It's got a field house in the back if you want to play indoor soccer or other indoor sports on turf. I think they have even football teams come out and practice field goal kicking back there. Very nice. They got a lot of stuff for old people in the area. There's a lot of retired folks here, a lot of older folks that did their time further east in New Jersey, New York area, and settled west, northwest, where it's a little bit, cheaper, more secluded, away from the hustle and bustle, but they're still trying to get their work in. So I gotta give credit, speaking of old people, I gotta give credit to my old man, JPL3. He's the one who found this place. I don't know how, maybe a newspaper clipping or something, but he wanted to sign up last year sometime and never did it. But we both went together to inquire about prices and personal training and how I can get membership temporarily, whatever I needed to do to pay to get access to the gym for a month and a half, basically, while I'm still up here. And we both left with memberships. They got a nice new sauna. It's clean. They actually have guidelines that they hold people accountable to. So there's not a lot of dirty, disgusting people being inconsiderate to others in the sauna, which I like. They leave things cleaner. They're not using it as dryer racks to dry their sweaty, disgusting clothes. So it's great. The only thing I'll say about it in a not positive light, it's not negative, it's not positive, though, is they must have a deal with the local high school to get more people to come in. Maybe they have a deal, you get a student discount to be a member. So depending on the time of day you go to this gym, there's a lot of high school kids there. Some of them are actually doing work. Some of them are trying to do work. Legitimately, they're skinny, they're puny, they're a bunch of little mini JPL 4s. Back when I was in high school, I was weakly. I'm still kind of weak, but I'm getting there. And they're trying. And then there's a decent amount of high school. I don't want to be mean to these kids. They're kids. High school personality types, aggressive high school personality. We're talking, junior, senior level, grade level type students, really up in their hormones and the testosterone. They're finishing up, their puberty cycles, and they're feeling hunky and buff and strong and tough guys and all that crap, and they got to impress the girls that are following along. Um, they're a minor inconvenience. They're a minor inconvenience. It's not stopping me from working out. The only thing I am worried about is that there were a couple times they did make some comments out loud, laughing at other kids trying to work out. And I made it a point in my head. I didn't want to be that old dirtbag. Like back in my day, we respected, because I didn't respect anybody when I was a kid. I was a humphead kid like they were. But I did want to, if I wasn't going to talk down, talk to those kids and tell them to shut up, I was going to go talk to the kids having trouble and being like, hey, you got this. I'll spot you if you need whatever you need. Don't let other people's reactions push you away from working out and getting better and getting after it and pushing to the right in life. So it didn't come to that, thankfully, but I was happy to see that there's a lot of youth going out and getting workouts in. Even if those stupid humphead kids did one workout and the rest of the time they walked around and flexed in the mirror and made the girls follow them around, they still did one workout, and it's better than no workouts. So it's all positives all around, I guess you can say. But my dad did actually, he signed up for a trainer so he can work on his mobility, his flexibility, his balance, to make sure as he gets older and up that staircase to heaven or the other place, he's still maintaining some sort of fitness level, some sort of ability to do normal things. And the mindset has shifted for him. Okay. Back in the day, and sort of where I'm still at now, I'm teetering on a different mindset shift. Back in the day, it's get strong, look buff, be physically fit, athletic looking. As you get older, there are different phases in your fitness journeys. Hopefully, you're always taking a fitness journey and you're not being a lazy fatso who's going to be unhealthy and not do anything and not care about it. You know how I feel about those people. No disrespect, but you're affecting not only yourself health-wise, financially, and the people around you. So think about that. Anyway, we're not doing that here, folks. Anyway, different phases of the fitness journey. He is on the phase now where he needs to up his balance game, up his flexibility, and maintain and increase mobility so that he's not going to pull a muscle getting out of bed. He's not going to fall if he steps on a stone or an acorn in the sidewalk or on the little steps coming up to our house from the driveway. If the ice, if it gets icy out, he's not going to completely fall and break a hip or whatever. This is all the things that he's focusing on, and this is smart. I like this idea for him. It keeps him moving. It increases his flexibility so he's not so stiff and robotic. It helps those stabilizer muscles, increases those, and it's going to give him a little bit more longevity, and that's what you're looking for here. He eventually wants to get to the point where he's actually burning more fat so he can lighten the load a little bit, but he hasn't worked out in a while, intensely in a while, so he's got to start from scratch, and he went a couple times, so I was proud of him for that. He did do a lot of bitching and moaning the first 2 days. You would think he ran a marathon the first day, or he went through our college baseball hell week, championship week, or some sort of punishment running that we did for an hour at a time, just getting our shit pushed in. Sorry, T. Family show. Got it. But he didn't. It was 30 minutes of balancing, step ups on a box or stuff like that, some planks. It was more of an assessment of his current state of affairs, fitness wise, to figure out the plan ahead. But if you asked him, he just got done fighting D-Day on Normandy Beach, running through the sand, dodging enemy flak and rounds and what have yous. He's going to be okay. I need him to keep pushing through. What we need JPL3 to do is to understand that the first few times he's going back to the gym are going to be hard. He's going to be sore. He's going to feel achy. He is not going to have a good time. But the reason he's in the state he's in is because when the going got tough, JPL got to the recliner, and we can't have that again. So I'm trying to go, at the same time as him, trying to make sure that through my actions, I'm showing him, hey, we can do this. This is going to be fine. You're going to make it. Don't worry about it. You got to get through the first couple weeks, that wall of soreness and just lack of movement that your body has been used to for so long. So all that's to say is I'm very happy we found a good gym close by. It's not that expensive. It gets me out of the house during the day. I need to get better at waking up early so I can go to the gym, because as after I work out and even during, I feel awesome. I love working out. I don't, there are people I know who hate physically working out. They don't like going to the gym and doing the physical, actual workouts. They're not a fan of that. But what they are a fan of is the results, and that's why they keep going, and that's great. And I'm certainly not judging. I can't relate to that though. My problem is the point between getting in my head, I want to work out or I need to work out today, to physically getting to the place to work out. It is that in-between window that's my wall. That is my kryptonite, my weakness. That's what I hate of, oh, if I want to go work out, then I got to get my workout gear ready. I got to take the dogs out. I got to put them away. I got to do the things around the house I got to do. And then I got to drive there, and hopefully there's not traffic or there's not deer on the road that I hit and whatever. And then I got to get there into the locker room and take my gear off and put my workout gear on and this and that. And that idea in my head, it's daunting because sometimes I'm just a mental weakling. And that's what happens. I let it get the best of me, which is why I want a full gym in my garage back at the LPDS ranch, because I don't have to do anything. All I got to do is turn the light on, knock out some workouts, and then I can go right back to doing what I was doing beforehand instantly. So that's the motivation to do all that. But I would love to be able to work out in the morning, because it's a great way for me to wake up and the first thing I'm doing is something I enjoy. I love actually working out. I like getting in there, getting a pump on. Even though I'm pushing light weights, I don't care. It's still good for me. I'm trying new things. I'm moving the chemicals in my body. All the endorphins are flowing. I'm getting vascular in my arms. I'm feeling it. I can check myself out in the mirror. All the stuff that I love doing, I get to do it at the gym. So I got to get better. I want to be able to feel that instantly. As soon as I wake up, I want to go do that first thing, but I got to wake up earlier. JPL is good about that. JPL 3, he wakes up early. I have not been able to do that. I have a problem where I don't get tired at night and I stay up too late, and then in the morning I'm mush, useless. So I gotta get better at that. Long story longer. Love the fact that there's a gym nearby. Love the fact that JPL 3 is getting on it, getting after it. Try to up his fitness level, get back to fighting weight. I need to get better at waking up early, hitting the gym. I do love working out. I still do this stuff in my basement throughout the day, because it's even more working out that I get to do all throughout the day. And it's helping me a lot. I feel a lot better about myself. It's especially in the winter time. What is that called? Seasonal affect disorder or whatever. I'm sure I'm butchering that. But it's tough to do anything in the winter up in the cold states, because you just want to hunker down and not go outside, not do anything. And then without that sunlight, without that motion, you're on all the holiday meals and stuff, you're in for, you know, you're dirty bulking. Let's put it that way. You're dirty bulking physically, calorically, weight-wise, and you're dirty bulking on the emotional side. Okay, you're packing on the sad emotions. So physical fitness, being able to work out a lot is actually definitely helped me a lot without my ability to go de-shirt outside every day like I do back in Texas. So it's been good. Anyway, trying to think what else is going on. I don't know if this just popped up on the video. I don't know if this did. There was a thumbs up that just popped up on the screen. I I record on Zoom. Zoom has this new AI companion thingy that I don't know what it does. It's just automatically in there, and I think what it did was emote for me via an emoji. And I think when I said something just now, I just saw a thumbs up pop up on the screen. I don't know if in YouTube land you saw that too. If you did, let me know. I'll go check it out and when I edit this anyway to see if it actually popped up. I'm not really looking at my screen a lot on the computer here. I'm just kind of looking around and talking. So I don't know what other stuff I missed on the screen that popped up throughout the last, spiel. So interesting stuff here. Anyway, I lost my train of thought because I saw that thumbs up and I got all verklempt. What the heck were we talking about? Jim, recording, thumbs up. Man, I lost it. Let's just move on. Tommy Cutlets, New York Giants upset the Packers. I don't know how, don't care how they did it. The Tommy DeVito train is still rolling and the publicity is going nuts. They have now my sister just sent me this thing. It was almost as a joke, honestly. It was an advertisement to go meet and greet with Tommy DeVito at the shops nearby. I guess he's just going to be sitting there shaking hands and doing autographs and taking pictures with the local Jersey rabble. Good for him. It's just going to be, it is going to be all the people that we joke about here. All the Italian Stugazzes out there. I haven't done a Stugazz in a week in a long time, maybe 2 years. Got to get on that. If you have ideas, by the way, of Stugazz of the week, it was a segment we started a while ago of just a jabroni that we wanted to call out for some sort of mishap, miscue that needs to be corrected and talked about so that people can learn, grow, and improve. And I thought it was fun. We got to find the next Stugazz of the week. Anyway, it's going to be full of the stereotypical Jersey Italian Americans who call themselves Italian first, but they're American. Okay. And that's something I discussed many times in the past. When I went to Italy, the most glaring thing you realize when you go over there as an Italian American is that we are American first. Okay. They do things differently, very differently. They are different culturally, way different from us. So these people here in the Northeast, we like to pretend we're really Italian, but we're really American Italian. And it's funny to see sometimes, but the propaganda folks, the stereotypes, the Ginzos, the Wops, the Guineas, whatever you want to call us, they're going to be out in droves at this shop going to meet Tommy Cutlets, and they're all going to be doing this with the hands. And it's just, he's going to get tired of it. I hope to God he keeps it, he puts on a good smile the whole time. He seems like a good fella, but it's getting out of hand with the overhype of Tommy Cutlets. And it doesn't help the fact that his sports agent is a walking propaganda piece. At first, I thought it was a joke. His agent, and if I have a picture, if I remember to post it, I'll pop it up here. His agent, something Sarantino, Sal Sarantino, I just made that up. Who knows what his name is, was dressed at the Packers game like he went to Party City and looked for the aisle that said, "Give me the most cartoonishly Goomba Prohibition era mafia Italian costume you got, and I'm going to wear it." And that's exactly what he wore. It was like a black turtleneck with a black button down. I think it was pinstripe. I don't remember exactly. I think it was pinstripe. He had the little handkerchief coming out of the pocket, and then he had the fedora on, and he had the big nose and everything. First I thought it was his brother. Then I thought it was like a friend from college that was just being a jokester and just playing into it. But no, this guy really dresses like that. He is the real deal. And this is what is so great and so funny and so sometimes annoying about the Jersey Italian Americans is that that guy is not like that, ironically. He's not doing a bit. He's not making fun of people. He is as serious as a heart attack. He woke up that morning and was like, let me look in my already purchased wardrobe of serious clothing that I wear for business and see what I can put on. And that was in there. Okay. So the Giants won, though. I don't know what's going to happen when Daniel Jones comes back. If they're going to bench Tommy DeVito, it's kind of tough right now because Tommy DeVito won 3 games. He's not the best quarterback. He is I'll give him the promotion to second string caliber quarterback right now. And he's riding a high, and I love that for him. And he's working his ass off, and I love that too. But skill-wise, like we've discussed, he's hit his ceiling. He's hit his skill ceiling, and I don't know if it's good enough to maintain success as an NFL starter. And success meaning you keep your team competitive for playoff contention and Super Bowl contention. And I just don't see that with him. If he was maybe on a better team, he might have even more success. But the Giants stink, and he's doing what he can, I guess. But he's not the best out there. But Daniel Jones, since he got that contract, he's been stinking it up. And then he got hurt. And I don't know if he got hurt on purpose or what. But whenever he comes back, if he comes back, I think he's out for the season with his ACL or some crap like that anyway. That's the Giants. That's what we got going on. Still no updates on the Yankees pitching moves. They're working on that Yamamoto guy. I know you guys care about this stuff, but this is the current events that we're working with here. Unless you want to put on the quote unquote news, and it's chaos. It's absolute chaos. It's like in the Addams Family when Tully grabs the wrong book from the bookshelf. The bookshelf in Addams Family is they pull the one book and it's the secret, opens up the secret door to get down to the Addams Family lair where they're conducting their business and they have their pirate treasure and what have yous. And Tully, I forgot his real name who plays his part. You've seen him before. He was in Corky Romano, Addams Family, some other stuff. Good actor. He picks out the wrong book. He picks out a book on like hurricanes or earthquakes or something. I think it was hurricanes. And he opens the book, and as soon as he opens the book, it's chaos. Blasting him, blowing him back, blowing everything in the room all over the place. It's absolute mayhem as soon as he opens the book. That's what the news is. Okay, as we get closer and closer to election season, if you turn on one station, it's the war and making you pick sides between all the wars that we're funding that we're not part of, but we're paying for right now, and you have to pick sides or you're a monster. If you go to another station, it's what government official is getting arrested or indicted or charged or being on trial, or what their sons and families are doing, and all this doom and gloom over here. And then it's killings and chaos and gang fights and this and that and looting and rioting and all that stuff going on. There is nothing good. There's no good news on any of the mainstream media stations. And this, you can't even joke about it. There's nothing to even make good jokes about. The only good joke that came out recently, and I know people are going to crucify me. They're going to probably think I'm some sort of MAGA guy now, but Donald Trump I don't know what he was doing. He was talking on TV about something. Who God knows what he's talking about at any given time. But he was trying to dog on Biden, and he connected Biden to the Starbucks lemonade situation going on. Now, if you're not tracking the Starbucks lemonade situation, Starbucks has been selling this charged lemonade. It's caffeinated lemonade, like an energy drink lemonade. I don't know how many times I have to say lemonade before you understand what I'm talking about. I don't know what happened. There was a video pause. The videos are everything's acting wild. I hope there wasn't a long pause in the video. We'll try to fix it in post. Anyway, they put out this charged lemonade. It's loaded with caffeine, and they put the warning and everything out there like, hey, this is jam-packed with caffeine. Don't be stupid. Well, a couple of stupid folks were drinking like 3, 4, 5 in a row, just straight shooting it, binge drinking this lemonade, and they died. They had heart attacks and died, or they had strokes and died because they were practically overdosing on this stuff. Okay. Um, so Trump went on this rant about how, you know, it's so bad in America under the Biden administration that even the lemonade is killing you. And he's like, oh, the lemonade wasn't killing you when I was president. And he's just going on and on. He's like, we had good, tasty lemonade. It was fun and delicious when I was president. Now it kills you. And he's talking about the other stuff going on. He's like, gas is more money, the economy's in the shitter, food and supplies are more money, and the lemonade costs more, and it kills you under the current administration. And objectively speaking, the fact that he was essentially doing a 5-minute bit on lemonade, in a roast situation was objectively funny, comically funny. It doesn't mean I want to vote for that guy. It doesn't mean I want to vote for the other guy. From a comedy perspective, that shit was funny. And if you say it wasn't, you're holding on to some serious bias against that guy because you just don't like him. Okay? But objectively speaking, it was a funny bit. It was a funny comical bit. He should be a stand-up comedian and not a political, how you doing? Anyway, moving on. I think that's all I got with the current events and stuff. So we can probably just get into the goodness. That's what we'll do. We'll get into the good stuff. We'll step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by the South Bend Shovel Slayers Shoveling Services. It's wintertime, folks, and that means the snow is coming, and the last thing you want to deal with first thing in the morning is having to shovel your driveways and sidewalks in order to get to work. That's where the South Bend Shovel Slayers come in. The Slayers have been in business since 1958 and work around the clock, walking up and down the block, salting the sidewalks and driveways so you don't have to. Their garbage pail is where they keep their custom salt that slays the snow and preserves the integrity of your driveways like mummies. It's only a matter of time before the snow strikes again, so hire the southbound shovel slayers today and they'll murder that snow and leave no evidence behind. Simply visit www.oldmanmarley.com and use the promo code GALOSHES and you'll get 29% off your first snow shoveling service. One of the reasons I'm here in New Jersey, besides spending time with my family, is to try to do what I can to help my parents out. Any small little way to make their lives a little bit easier, I'm going to do it. And the wintertime is sort of the best for that because it's the holiday season. I'm going to be traveling up here anyway for Christmas and stuff. And snow comes. And my parents still work. And it's really not ideal for older folks to be shoveling snow when they have to go to work. Not to mention the fact that their driveway is a steep hill and it gets icy. It's colder up here in the northwest of New Jersey. They get more snow earlier in the season and they get the sheet of ice underneath the snow on the driveway and it's not good. I slip and fall up and down that driveway on a regular basis when I'm shoveling. I don't want them to have to deal with that. So as much as I can, I try to help a little bit with that. We know the story. I wanted to move down up here permanently anyway, but it sucks living here right now. Okay, New Jersey sucks. Besides the food and my family here and my old friends that still live here, it's expensive. You're restricted from doing anything. The bears in this state have more rights than the human beings. It's run by absolute nincompoops. It's so close to the city that you get the spillover of tomfoolery and shenanigans and malarkey that goes on in New York right now. It's a nightmare situation. I don't recommend anybody living here unless you're filthy rich. Because when you're filthy rich, all that stuff doesn't affect you. Okay. And you can disagree with me all you want, or you can get mad at me all you want for that statement. That's the truth. Okay. If you're filthy rich, you can live an awesome life in New Jersey or New York City. You just can. Ask anybody who knows a filthy rich person in the Northeast, and they'll tell you the same thing. It's a good life. And that's what I'm trying to get to. So in the meantime, I'm making a little bit of a compromise by coming up here, spending the time with the family for a couple months in the winter and trying to help out when I can. Um, I prefer the warm weather. In fact, if I can do anything, if I could do the ideal situation for me would be to do the opposite. Go down south for the winter. But here we are. Anyway, I don't need to buy the South Bend Shovel Slayer service. You guys might. So give them a call, hit them up on their website, and if you use galoshes, that's how they know Libretti sent you. You'll get a good discount. Anyway, Cage fact. I've been reading some more articles on interviews, trying to get a beat and do some recon on Nic Cage's next move. Okay, because we talked about how he's going to be more particular and prioritize what his next movies are, because he's going to do less of them so he can spend more time with his family and start tapering off to retirement. While I was doing that recon, I came across something that I did not know myself, which is rare. And I'm okay admitting when I don't know a Cage fact, because we're all human beings. But his first actual appearance on screen was not Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That was his first movie in theaters that he was credited with. That was as Nicholas Coppola. His first ever on-screen appearance was a made-for-TV movie called The Best of Times, starring him and Crispin Glover and five other folks. And it was a movie about, I guess, teenagers and just like 80s teenagers and their adventures. Most of the 80s movies were kind of like that. And this was made for TV. Imagine, so if you don't know who Crispin Glover is, let me paint the picture for you. Back to the Future, George McFly. Okay. He was also in that movie Willow, I believe, where he played a weirdo. And he was also Creepy Thin Man in Charlie's Angels, the one with Cameron Diaz and Lucy Liu and Drew Barrymore. That guy. Okay. Crispin Glover. All right. Him and Nic Cage, not only in the same room together, but for weeks at a time filming a movie together. So I got to check that movie out. It was called The Best of Times. I believe it came out in like 81. Made for TV, straight for TV, which is funny because Nic Cage had a string of movies that he had to make, essentially, that he chose to make for the money, that all went straight to TV as well. That was after he won his Oscar. So it almost came full circle, but now he's back in theaters again. It's really more of like a cycle of cagery. So I got to check that movie out. I'm behind on Nic Cage movies. I'm behind. I haven't seen Dream Scenario yet. I haven't seen The Retirement Plan yet. I haven't seen Sympathy for the Devil yet. I am behind on Nic Cage movies, and I got to do better. And we will do better. But anyway, that's the Cage fact. We'll move on over to the junction. We'll spin the logo up. This is another week. I don't have anything particular to talk about, like big events or big lessons or anything like that. Share some funny stories, and we got a little bit of a lesson or memory, if you will, at the end of that. But we went Christmas tree shopping as a family. And I wish I recorded it, but I also am happy I didn't, because I would have ruined all my tech gear. So what we normally do, historically, what we've done for the past long time, is you have Thanksgiving, and then Black Friday, when everybody else is out there beating the shit out of each other to get a new PlayStation or a deal on a TV, we were going to the Christmas tree farm we usually go to to pick out the tree we want to cut down. But historically, this Christmas tree farm let you tag the tree and reserve it, and then you can come back and cut it down whenever. Well, after several years of doing this, long time, decade at least, apparently people, this is what's a little disheartening, and I still have hope for the future, but what people were doing was cutting down trees that they didn't tag. If they saw a tree they liked better, they would cut that down and toss the tags and basically steal the tree from the person who actually bought it and reserved it. And because I was running so rampant, this Christmas tree farm pulled the plug on the reservations of trees and said, you got to pick and cut your tree same day. Well, this wasn't going to fly for Crazy Carol, because Black Friday was when we go pick the tree and reserve it, and then we go to a diner somewhere, and then we come back a couple weeks later, maybe like the week before Christmas or something like that, to cut the tree down so that my mother can have the tree up Christmas, New Year's, and then until the thing turns brown. She loves keeping that Christmas tree up long, and I'm the same way. I like it too. But we couldn't do it here. Plus, there was a bit of a Christmas tree down cycle. I'm trying to think of the term that they use professionally, but think of it as like a bathtub effect. Not a bathtub effect, but it looks like a tub. If we're looking at a graph, it dropped down like a tub, and it's on back on the upswing. So what happened was 07, 08, I want to say during the recession, the last recession we had, the real, the official recession, not the one that we're kind of in now that nobody wants to admit to. During that one, there was a run on Christmas trees. Okay. And I did this research. I'm a big Christmas tree guy. I like cutting down trees. Taylor Swift's family owns a Christmas tree farm, so she gets it. But apparently it takes about 7 or so years for a Christmas tree to fully mature, grow and mature, to be cuttable, to be able to be approved by the farm owners and be like, you can cut that one down. That's ready to rock and roll, and go ahead. That's a fully matured tree. Well, I guess during the recession, and then it happened again recently, it's happening again. There was a run on Christmas trees, and it created a bathtub sort of situation in the graph, because people they cut down all the trees, and then that was the timeline when the farmers were supposed to be replanting new trees to keep their supply steady. Well, they didn't have the money or the ability to do that after the recession. So like 9, 10, 11, 2009, 10, 11, or whatever it was, they were hurting on re-upping their supply. So as people kept cutting down the mature trees, the younglings, whatever they're called, were not growing as fast. There was not enough of them growing to maintain, demand, to answer the demand. So for the past couple of years at this particular farm, they've been finishing up. They're at the end of their bathtub cycle, where they were down on trees, and now they're just coming up. All this to say is that we couldn't go there for our Christmas trees the past 2 years. We had to go to a different Christmas tree farm that's a little closer to my parents' house now, but it's got a different selection, and it creates different Libretti problems, we'll say. We still go back to that Christmas tree farm. My sister still goes and gets her tree there because she cuts down immediately. So we all meet up with them there. My mom is still friendly with the people who own it, so she didn't want to, when you build a relationship with somebody like that, even if it's a small business, you want to be loyal to them. So we still go. We buy a hot chocolate there. We buy wreaths there. We walk around. We take pictures. We talk to the people. We do all the how you doings. We go to the farm across the street that sells pies and donuts and what have you is there. It's a little small apple farm. And then we go to a diner and we still do all the doot-to-doos that we usually do. So it's still fun. We've been going now to this other Christmas tree farm a little closer by. It's a big farm, way bigger than the one we've been going to. It's run by Franciscan monks, I think, is who owns the property. And they have a big selection, but the selection is only two types of trees. They have a lot of two types of trees. There's other types of trees out there, but the place is so big, we usually don't even get to that section to look at the other types of trees because there's Douglas fir, there's Colorado spruce, there's blue spruce, there's Fraser fir. There's a lot of different types of trees that look different, feel different, are shaped different, and different people have different, wants when it comes to the Christmas tree world. So they got to give them a variety. Well, as it is, we never get the time to go out and find all the different variations that we're looking for. But this year, we were trying to beat a rainstorm. Now, we thought we had it covered because the Ginzo and weathermen in New Jersey promised that the rain and the storm was not going to start until 3 p.m. on that Sunday that we went. So we got there at 10 a.m. thinking, we're good to go. We get there. I shit you not. The second I turn the car off and we step out to walk around the field, the farm, to look at trees, the second we opened that door, it started raining. And it gave us a little teaser, a little bit of rain, and then it stopped. We're like, okay, we got time. This is just a storm before the storm or whatever. And then we get out to an area looking at trees that is far from the cars. And there's no cover, there's no escape. And then it starts pouring on us, downpouring on us. It's me, it's my father, JPL3, my mother, Crazy Carol, and my brother, Nicky Sticks, decided to come with us because we were going to go to a diner after and we were going to share a family meal. Pouring on all of us. We scramble to find a tree. We settle. It's a nice tree. I like it. I'm a big fan. It's a big, wide tree. If it was nicer weather, we would have spent another hour plus there because my mom likes to look around for the perfect tree, and that's fine too. But we found this sort of orphan tree. It's not a Charlie Brown tree. It's a big tree. In fact, I had to cut probably a foot off of it to get it to fit in our house to begin with. And I'll post some pictures here if I remember. This video froze again. How long did this video freeze for? I don't know how long that video just froze for, but I can't edit it. Okay? So however long it is in post, I'll check it out when I finalize the footage. It could be a long time on YouTube of me with my mouth open in a still shot, and that's it. And hopefully you can hear the audio too. I don't know what happened there. I'll have to do some investigating, but that's a problem, and I apologize. Anyway, we would be there for a while picking out trees. This tree's big. If I have the pictures of it, I'll post them up here. Just the size of the tree. We just put it up. We'll decorate it. I won't have any pictures of it being decorated by the time this episode is aired, but I'll post pictures in future episodes so you guys can see it. But just the size of the tree, I'll show you. We finally picked the tree. Like I said, it's a big tree, so the trunk is thick too as well, which means it's going to take a little while to cut down. And you cut yourself. We have JPL3 go get the car. Hey, go back and get the vehicle so we're not dragging this. We're a half a mile from the car and dragging a tree in the rain on farmland. It's mud and dirt at this point. Not ideal. And we don't want to drag a tree in the mud. And who's to say how long we would have been able to carry it all that way without dropping it. So we said, go get the vehicle. We'll cut this down. We tell my mom to go with my father. You guys go, get the vehicle, get in the car, get dry. We'll take care of this. So me and Sticks, he's holding the tree. I'm cutting it underneath. He's pulling it to make sure that the tree is falling the right way it needs to. And we sweat it out. I'm soaking wet, by the way. I'm sopping wet. I can't avoid the rain. Sticks is sopping wet. We all both look like wet cats, like the Remies, and we're just plugging away. We finally get this tree. And then we proceed to stand there and stand there and stand there while we're waiting for our old man to drive us back to pick us up so we can get the tree in the back of the truck and we could get the hell out of Dodge. And we were able to thankfully find a tree that we can hide under for a little bit of cover while we waited. Finally, he returns. JPL3 returns with the truck. No Crazy Carol. She's MIA. We don't know where she went. But we had to get this tree on and get the hell out of here because we're soaking wet and we still have to go to a diner. You think we're going to not go to a diner? What are you, nuts? So we have to get this thing up and ready. I have a quick question to my old man. Hey, where's mom? And then we're back to business. Me and Sticks are trying to maneuver this tree. It's bigger than the bed of the truck in my mom's truck. So we're trying to squeeze it in and this and that. JPL3 is in the car. He's looking at us through the rearview mirror while we're struggling to get this tree fit into the car appropriately. We're doing Tetris. We're trying to fold it without breaking it. We're trying to do this and trying to do that. We finally get it in. We close the door. And we get in the car, and my old man goes, man, what took you guys so long? I'm freezing in here. And if I didn't feel bad for the fact that, he's older, he was also my father. He took care of me. He helped raise me with my mother. If it was just some stranger who said that, I would have socked him right in the face. I would have socked him right in the face, no doubt about it. Well, if a stranger was just standing there or sitting there watching us struggle in the pouring rain, and then you have the audacity to not say, like, good job or sorry I didn't help. You have the audacity to come back with what took you so long. You would have got a sock right to the face. But in all honesty, it would have taken longer with him out there because it was so muddy and nasty out. It would have been like my cousin Vinny when he's trying to get the piece of wood out of the trunk of his car when he got mud in the tires out in the cabin, and he ends up slipping on the wood, and it creates more problems than good. So I'm glad he stayed in there and stayed dry because we didn't need him getting sick either. Now we got to go find my mother because we don't know where she went. So we're driving around, we're looking. Long story short, we finally find her. She found a place to hide, I guess. I don't know. I guess she didn't get to the car in time, so she was just like, screw it, I'm just going to stay here and wait. We found her, we pick her up. We opted not to go and get the net around the tree. You know how like you take it to the guys and they throw the net on there? We opted not because it was pouring. It was pissing rain on us. And we were all soaked. I didn't have any of my waterproof gear on. We thought we were going to beat it. We went there at 10 o'clock. We were 5 hours ahead of the stupid, dirty, despicable Guido who told us it was going to be nice until 3 p.m. So we're soaked. We wanted to get the hell out of there. We went to the diner. We figured out, we tried. The issue I didn't realize about not getting the net was the fact that this tree was too wide to get into the door in our house. So I had to create my own net, and I basically rolled it up in a tarp like a burrito or a dead body and tied it around to make it tight to be able to slide it in like the Grinch when he stole the tree and it's like he was closing the umbrella. That's what we had to do. We had to close the umbrella to get this tree into the house. It's all said and done. It's all good to go now. It was a good adventure, good diner sesh. I had a scramble. It's where they mix in your eggs and your home fries and your meat, your sausages or bacon and cheese, and they mix it and they cook it on a skillet all at the same time. They mix it in there. It's choice. And now the tree is up in the house, and we're gonna put the decorations on as a family again. So it was a good time. I don't know what you guys do. I don't know if you have fake trees or if you have real trees or what your tradition is, but that is something I've enjoyed since I was a kid. We always had a real tree. My father never liked real trees. Everybody else in the family did. He was always complaining how it's a hassle to clean up and cut down and this and that. And the last several years, most of the work has been done by myself and my mother. Or even Sticks will come by and clean up and do some maintenance or whatever needs to be done on a real tree. So I don't know what he's mad about, but uh, as long as we're around in this house, in this family, we're getting a real tree. And I don't mind doing the extra work. I'm a real tree guy. I'm a real Christmas tree guy, and I'm not going to get a fake tree unless I marry Marissa Tomei and she wants a fake tree. Then I'll get a fake tree, all right? Otherwise, real tree. And I'll do all the work. I don't care. I'll vacuum, I'll cut it, I'll clean up after, I'll water it, whatever. I'm a real tree guy. That's that. So I don't know what you guys do. I would love to hear we could talk about it on a future episode. Maybe I'll ask this question if I remember. I always forget to ask questions on Instagram and Facebook, but what do you guys like to do? What are your Christmas traditions if you celebrate Christmas? Or if you celebrate Hanukkah or another holiday, what are your holiday traditions that you do around this time? So I think there's Hanukkah, Christmas, I think Kwanzaa. I don't know if there's other holidays that I'm missing, but let me know what your traditions are, and how you guys celebrate. If you have family traditions or if you just kind of like don't like them, don't care for them, whatever. Let me know. I'm curious, and we'll talk about it and have a good time on a future episode. But yeah, that's what we did. That was our week. And then I don't want to say I got sad news, but I guess the world got some news. This is separate from the Christmas tree discussion. But the actor Andre Braugher passed away. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's been in a lot of shows, a lot of TV shows earlier on when we were younger. He was in the show Homicide. He was in the show a few years ago. It was on like TBS or TNT or whatever. It was with Ray Romano and another guy. I forgot the guy's name, but he was the original guy from Quantum Leap, the original show Quantum Leap, not the new one that came out, the remake, because that's what Hollywood does right now. They just remake and have no creativity. But the original Quantum Leap, he was in that. I forgot his name. Andre Braugher was in this show too. And then most of you probably know him from the captain in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Captain Holt, Raymond Holt. And again, this is a situation where an actor passes away and you get these people coming on, I'm shocked, I'm sad, and this and that. And there's that whole camp that I used to be in wholeheartedly of like, it's a stranger, why are you getting so affected by it? But now I'm shifting towards that camp of this is I can see why people have an emotional reaction towards this and response toward this. And mine came because Captain Holt, Andre Braugher, was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and we watched that show, and it was a memory. This is what it evoked, a memory in my head, and this is why it was a little sad to me, is when I was deployed, a real deployment. I was in Afghanistan, not the Virginia Beach, the modern day D-Day trenches of war that I was in. This was before the LPDS started in 2019 when I was actually in the shit. I don't like to talk about that too much, but after our missions, we would have nothing else to do. I would work out. We were working like there was nothing else going on. Okay. You had no family. You couldn't go out to do anything. All you had was your work, the gym, and your bed, your cot, or whatever, the racks. We had a common area in our dorm area. There was a common area we can play some video games. We watched Office reruns. So that's where we hung out. We played board games and stuff like that. If our schedules line up with other people on our team, to be able to dick around and have some fun that way. But if we were on a mission, the missions, from start to finish of pre-planning, briefing, executing mission, debriefing, putting your gear away, that was a full day's work. That was, 8 to 10 hours, depending on the length of the mission. The mission itself could have been 4 to 6 hours, plus the front and back end of all that. Oh, how you doing? So then you work out, or you work out before, then you do your mission. and then you got to do your post mission stuff, and that's it. There's nothing else to do. You go to Chow, and we had a media drive of TV shows and movies that they updated for us with new updates. So like we were watching, people were watching um the Game of Thrones as it came out. Anytime a new episode of a TV show came out, we would just talk to our tech folks, and they would get it for us. They had some sort of contract with, because when you're out there in the shit, not everyone's getting cable and stuff like that. So they try to make it as close to home as possible, and they did a pretty good job. So what I used to do with my smaller uh, brothers in arms, that we would work. We had our own little office. I had an additional duty. I would be on missions, and I did like ops director of ops, making sure like we got the people we can process them, that they were doing their training and all that stuff that we needed to do. So I had a little office space with a couple other folks. We would come back from mission, and we would put on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and we binged that show while we did our other paperwork and admin stuff after a mission. And that's what we did. It was 18-hour days. We wake up, work out, mission, chow. Sometimes we would have to get chow before our mission so we can eat while, in the shit, at least a little snack. And then we would come back, chow, clean up. Then we have more work to do. And instead of just going back to our rooms, which had nothing, and the internet connection was garbage in our room, so you couldn't really watch stuff by yourself unless you bought extra internet, which I wasn't doing. I wasn't just gonna sit there, so I would stay in the office and I would get extra work done. I would just hang out with the fellas, the boys, the gals, and we would watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine or a movie or whatever. And I watched the whole series up until that point. After 2019, I stopped watching it. I don't even know if the show was any good after 2019, but that's what we did. We binge watched, and if we finished up the series, we would just start it again. It became a like a routine of like, this is our comfort zone. We need to create routine so that we can effectively do our jobs, because otherwise you're in a deployed environment. It's high stress for some people. There's a lot of shit going on that's not part of your normal thing. You're out of your comfort zone. So we have to create our own comfort zones, whatever they may be. And part of that for me was our team of guys would watch this show or watch a movie. We had a movie night on Friday or whatever, and then the rest of the time we had a schedule of shows, and that was what was keeping us in our comfort zone, so that we can focus on other things, like so that we can focus on the mission at hand, as opposed to letting the emotions of it all get to us. The fact that we were away from family and friends and all that stuff, and in a foreign country and whatever. This was our regulator. This was keeping us. What was the name of the thing that they have in Inception? Not the talisman. That's a stupid. I think I'm way off there. But whatever little tangible item that Leonardo DiCaprio was telling people to bring with them, so that they know when they were in their dream state or in real life. That's what it was for us. It was like, as long as Brooklyn Nine-Nine is on, when we get back to the shop, everything's going okay. We're okay. We're doing fine. So it brought back a memory. Hearing that this guy passed away, he was 61 years old. It didn't say what happened. It said a brief illness. It could have been a heart attack, a stroke. Don't know what happened. 61 is young. Okay, in this day and age, that's young. And he had a lot left in the tank as far as acting ability, his acting chops. So that's what kind of hit home. It was like he was gone, and I don't even know if the show's still on anymore, but that was like the official end of like, okay, that's that hurt a little bit. That hurt a little bit, because I associate my time out there in the shit, the real shit, with that show, and particularly him and Andy Samberg. They were all good in the show, but he was a thespian. He was a real good top tier actor. and he was showing off his acting abilities in this sitcom, and it was really good, and that was what triggered that memory, and that's what kind of hit a little bit. I was a little bit sad of like, this is why people get affected, because it's not so much that they knew the guy, and it's like, I'm sad I lost my friend. It's this person, this actor, in their job created a positive experience in my life, and it's a bummer that they're gone, because I have a lot of good memories that I can directly attribute to that guy's effort in his job. So, like I said, I'm not fully in the camp of crying and have my own personal funeral for celebrities and people I've never met who pass away, but I'm certainly no longer in the camp of who cares, stop crying, you never met this person, stop being a baby. I am slowly moving more towards the getting, caring and understanding and empathizing and realizing the impact these quote unquote strangers have on our lives. And that is sort of the lesson in the episode today, this week, whatever, is empathy, I guess. Understanding why people have certain emotional reactions to what you may think to be a ridiculous thing to react towards. And I used to, and sometimes I still do it. When I see somebody pass away, it's more so on celebrities or musicians or whatever that pass away that I was not a fan of, or I didn't, not that I hated them, but I just didn't follow their stuff, like a musician that I wasn't listening to their music. And you see all these people flooding the market with sad posts and rest in peace, and I can't believe it. I'm shocked, I'm heartbroken, and I'm like, initially I'm like, who cares? What, like, you never even knew this guy. But I'm getting it now. I'm starting to get it a little bit. I understand there are still some that are over the top with it, and if I can have a professional conversation with them about, hey, let's find out why you're this aggressively emotional about this stranger passing away, to see if you need to dial it back or if it makes sense. I'd like to find that out. Again, I'm trying to learn, grow, and improve in some way, shape, or form in every aspect of my life. So I can, that's what I would want to do, have a conversation with them. But I do still catch myself being like, what are you doing? So I'm trying to get better at empathizing with people in all aspects. And this is a good exercise for me to do that, because I was so hard on one end of the spectrum of stop crying about people you never met. Like, you post about it like it was your brother who passed away. Shut up, you weakling. I was so hard in that camp. So this is good forcing function for me to exhibit empathy and put myself in the position of those people to see why they feel the way that they do about that. And that's what I did with this guy. Andre Brower is directly associated with a memory that I will never get out of my head, for better or worse. For better or worse. You know how when you get older, you start to forget things? I promise you, I will forget how to tie my shoes or use the bathroom before I forget my time out there. And that guy and his show is part of that memory. So the empathy is there. That's all I'm saying. The empathy is there, and I hope you guys take the lesson out of that too, and find ways or find situations where you can empathize with others instead of immediately judging or reacting to the situation. You take the LPDS step back and put yourself in their shoes for a little bit and try to figure out why they're doing what they're doing in that particular instance. And that's all I got today, folks. Before we go, real quick, the big three, the three pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, more genuine human being, and passing that positivity and productivity and goodness to everybody around you. Number one, exercise every day. Whatever you got to do, whether it's a full workout at the gym, jumping jacks while you're watching TV, push-ups, going for a walk after a meal, or breaking the mental sweat, reading a book, doing a crossword puzzle. Crazy Carol does the word jumble at night sometimes to break that mental sweat, to get that mental workout in, or the emotional side of the house, praying, meditating, breath work, whatever it is to work out the soul a little bit, fitness for the soul. Do one thing every day to improve your physical, mental, and emotional health and wellness and fitness. Number 2, the hardest one to do is don't be a shitty person, be a kind person. And that starts with empathy. And empathy is not sympathizing and defending somebody's actions or taking their side per se. It is putting yourself in their shoes to understand why they're saying what they're saying, why they're doing what they're doing, or why they're feeling how they're feeling. And you can still disagree with them. You shouldn't be agreeing with everybody anyway. Have your own individual thoughts in life. But if you can at least understand their perspective, you get a better picture of what's going on. And in situations where the negativity and the shit is being thrown at you, whether it's through the media or you see somebody posting something that you vehemently disagree with and you get a visceral, angry reaction towards it, as opposed to just reacting to that and trashing them and giving them that jab and being an asshole back to them, even if you think they deserve it, all I'm asking you to do is take that LPDS step back, detach from your emotions, show a little empathy and understanding, and then omit yourself from the situation. And just by doing that, you're minimizing the negativity and shit going on in the world, and you're giving yourself more capacity mentally and emotionally to focus on more positive, productive shit in your life. And the more you can focus on the positive and productive, the better off your life is going to be. Okay? Number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. Man, I really hope this video doesn't keep cutting out on me. I try to wake up every morning. The first thing I do before I even get out of bed, as soon as I open my eyes and turn my alarm off, I think of at least one good thing in my life, and then I think about what my life would be like without that thing, and how shitty my life would be without that thing, whatever it is. My dog, my family, toilet, running water, food, whatever. And if you do that, and then you start to do it more and more throughout your day, where you're taking the time, stopping what you're doing mentally and actively thinking about one thing, and now trying to picture your life without that thing. The more you do that, the more you're going to be putting yourself in a state of gratitude. And the more you're in that state of gratitude and being grateful for those things and not taking them for granted, the better off you're going to be. Okay? And if you couple that with not being a shitty person, and you couple that with exercising every day to improve your health and wellness and fitness, physically, mentally, emotionally, you're gonna be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, more genuine human being, and you can spread that goodness and positivity and whatever throughout the land. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the hotline. Hit the damn hotline, 202-670-1114. Somebody hit the hotline, shit talk me, spam my inbox, whatever you got to do. I want to play it on the air. Let's have some fun with it. 202-670-1114. Hit that hotline. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.